Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to some more Arena Total War. We are back, so now that Warhammer 2 has been out for a little while now, we're definitely going to be seeing the return of, I guess, like multi-Total War on the channel. You know, lots of Attila mods, Medieval 2 will make a reoccurrence with Third Age, and we'll obviously be playing more Warhammer 2 alongside that, but obviously Arena Total War is going to be making a comeback. It's a game I personally really enjoy. I also am going to be streaming this at least like 2 times a week now, so I'll make sure to link my Twitch channel down below. Make sure to go follow that so you always get notified when I do go live. But yeah, they actually went ahead and updated the game, dropping a pretty decently sized patch, really revolving around tier 6s and kind of the higher tiers up from that, to try and make when you do hit that tier 6 just a little bit more interesting. You can see if we go to the Romans, we can see that they now have like a variation. Some have light peeler, which I think have longer range but do less damage, and then I think some other Romans, I guess down like here, will have like heavy peeler. Yeah, heavy peeler, which is like 20 less meters but does a bit more damage, which is a very interesting way. You can also see there's a lot more like additional abilities on these units as well. Like these guys, these tier 10 Imperial Guard now have brace, so I guess it kind of encourages you at these higher tiers to actually play maybe someone who isn't Germanicus. Maybe like a Caesar tier 10 would be really good with that. They also changed a bunch of the consumables as well for like missile units and just a whole ton of stuff. I'll make sure to leave a patch notes down below. Also actually adding in a level system as well now, which you can level up, and as you do progress through these levels, you get free 3 days of premium, gold, silver, which is kind of like a nice progression system alongside, as well as having some titles. But the most important thing, at least for me, is they went ahead and added in a replay system. This is going to be amazing because I personally play this game in my spare time, not recording, not streaming, just because I enjoy the game itself. So because of that, when I pop off on a game and I do really well, like sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I was recording. However, now I can just simply save the replay and bring you guys more gameplay. As well as that, I can actually focus more on the battle itself instead of my own personal play, because I'm not having to, you know, obviously micro anything, because obviously this game is extremely micro intensive, so you have to kind of clicking everywhere and looking, whereas with the replay, I can simply just focus on it. So do let me know. I'm actually going to stick a poll on this video. Let me know, do you guys prefer replays or live battles, or would you prefer like a live battle and a replay battle in the same video? Because I tend to try and make these videos at least two battles in one episode. So yeah, just let me know in the poll. I'll be really interested. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into some tier 7 gameplay. These 2 replays are tier 7, even though I am tier 8, mainly because there's not going to be like any tier 8s on at all at this time in the morning when I played these games. As well as that, I've really found that these tier 8 Roman Noble Cavalry are utter crap. They really just seem so underpowered to me. Maybe not even underpowered, it's just they just don't really fit their role too well, as there's so many better units you'd pick at tier 8 instead of these guys. But honestly, all I'm doing is trying to get towards the Praetorian Cavalry, which is extremely far away. So for now, I'm just going to be playing some nice Legionary Cavalry. And also, sorry, this is a really long intro, but before we get on it, they did mention in the AMA that they did on Reddit that they are thinking about adding in a rank mode. They have kind of a rank mode, not ready to go, but they have a rank mode kind of ideas up there, and they're thinking about doing it, and I would love for there to be a rank mode, but I'd really hope that it would be centered around a certain rank. So, you know, for example, you jump into a game, and it wouldn't just be a mix of like 8s, 9s, and 10s in ranks. It would just be like you're playing rank mode, and rank mode is, say, for example, tier 7. I think tier 7 is a great rank because you kind of have access of everything. You kind of like, you have slingers, you have archers, you have infantry, like onagers, good cavalry. Everyone has good cavalry, yeah, apart from maybe the barbarians, but let's not talk about barbarian cavalry. And like the phalanxes are pretty decent. Roman infantry is a little bit too strong maybe compared to phalanxes, but for example, if that was a rank mode and if it was tied to a certain rank, then CA could simply just, you know, balance it really well, because they're not having to worry about how the tier 7s affect tier 8s and 9s. They can simply just look at a single tier, which I think would be absolutely awesome. So yeah, I would love to see like a tier 7 locked rank. Definitely not tier 8, because I play Roman Cavalry and these guys are awful. just EA, please buff them or change them. But yeah, like a tier 7 rank mode would be awesome. And it's also not super hard to get to that. I feel like once you hit tier 7, you have a good understanding of the game. So I think that would just be a great way to kind of pace players into getting into the rank system, as well as just having the most decent amount of units there. Because again, like war dogs aren't too crazy at tier 7. You have falksmen, barbarian infantry. But yeah, sorry, this has been a super long intro, 5 minutes. I really apologize. Let's go ahead and jump into some games. So I'm going to be playing Scipio. You can see I am going to be bringing the war steed because it gives some great bonuses to charge, which is really what you need at this rank. I haven't got these guys fully upgraded just because I don't want to waste the XP on this. But yeah, these guys are, you know, fairly decently upgraded. And yeah, we'll go and jump into a game. I think the first game is going to be on Thermopylae, and then the second game is going to be on Hadrian's Wall. Okay, guys, so we are now in the battle. We're going to go ahead and run through a few of the army setups before we get into this battle directly, just so you guys have a good idea of what everyone is bringing to this battle. So as you can see, on our side of the team, we have a decent amount of cavalry. We have, 4 players playing cavalry, so that's 12 units of horses. We have a heavy infantry contingent along with some artillery and some archers as well. As I said, I'm going to be playing over here as these tier 7 Roman legionary horsemen, really strong cavalry force, and especially because this is a tier 5, 6 and 7 game, it's up to me honestly to really get in there and do the damage. So I'm going to have to rely on my men to kind of carry the team almost. So let's go ahead and click play. We're going to let this kind of kick off as the battle starts. I'm not going to show you guys the enemy, but again, this is all like a learning process. Would you guys like to see the entire map, or would you like to see it just from my point of view? You know, this is going to be the first video I'm doing on the replay system, so yeah, what would you guys like to see? Do let me know. Also, if for some reason it thinks I'm playing as this guy, when obviously I'm not, obviously the replay system is extremely new, so hopefully they can fix stuff like that out in future patches. But yeah, we're going to follow me around the battlefield. You can already see our tier 6 onagers getting set up. They're absolutely huge. This is actually not always the best idea, though, because that makes them a really big target. And our first artillery shots are going to be going off onto their Greek cavalry, which is scouting. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can just simply click and it shows you the enemy. That's actually kind of cool. It does also make it kind of hard to switch back, though. Maybe there's some hotkeys for it and I'll have to just figure it out. But yeah, the moment our artillery is doing great. This guy has just gone balls to the wall in the back of our base. I mean, it's kind of useful because it's showing a lot of the enemy. We're getting some good scouting. We're kind of understanding that they have archers over here. However, he's kind of almost sacrificing a lot of his units here, which is very risky. But again, it also is giving our artillery a good shot to kind of just open up. At the moment, though, the artillery is being focused over here. Again, some of our tier 7 Greek cavalry came flying in, and our artillery is going to be finding its mark on a few of these units. So at the moment, our cavalry who went balls deep are going to be getting caught out by the blood riders of the barbarians. And what I'm going to be doing here, as the barbarians do get hit by artillery, I'm going to be popping off my charge. My charge gives me a great little speed bonus. And even though I don't do a lot of damage, I still manage to tick off a few of these riders and also scare them off. And for me, that was completely free. I don't think I lost any HP whatsoever. No, I lost 100 HP on this unit, as you can see right there. But overall, I mean, that was like really good for me. And it also kind of told me that the enemy doesn't have artillery as well, which was a great move. We're actually going to slow-mo it really quickly, as I'm going to be pushing in here. So I know for a fact that there's archers right here. I've seen, as you can see right here, you can see their arrows pouring off onto our principes. This was maybe a little bit of a mistake by me. Really, what I should have done here is I should have bided my time, because I know my cavalry is extremely slow in the forest. You can see this, I get a minus 35% speed bonus, whereas these guys, because they're light infantry, actually get a real big reduction in that. So as soon as they see me, they're simply going to be running away as fast as they can. And what I should have honestly have done is waited until this cavalry unit was more up the battlefield so that I could have cut these guys off. Because they would have only have started to run when they saw my cavalry coming around the corner. So it was kind of a mistake on my part for sure. At the moment, by the rest of the battlefield, we have a little bit of an engagement over here. And you can see the enemy are going heavy for the mountain on this right hand side, which I really don't think is a great idea. I honestly think that you should just abandon that. It's way too far away from a base and doesn't really have much influence on the battle. So we're going to have our Greek cavalry player moving in, and this enemy Greek tier 6 is going to be pushing in and trying just to hammer him, which is again kind of a waste when you see me pouring right round the corner here. There's also plenty more enemies coming for them, though. You can see they've got a huge portion of their tier 7 cavalry coming. I'm going to pop my Wrath of Mars, kind of trying to catch these archers, but really failing. Not doing a great job there. I also managed to catch a decent amount of these guys, but I'm going to be surrounded now. You can see that I've got a suppressed flank, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop all of my abilities and just simply jump into Oath of Perseverance. Oath of Perseverance is going to give me a huge bonus to this unit's defense. You can see it's jumped up to 991. And if we go compare this to, say, for example, the shock cavalry of the Greeks, they have 350. So because of that, like, this cavalry is going to be extremely hard to kill, and I get a huge morale buff. You can see my morale buff is currently 160%, also giving me that additional boost right here as well, buffing up all my stats. This is also going to give me a great opportunity to lock down all this infantry so that I can then move in with the rest of my legionary cavalry and just hammer them. Look at the damage I did on them tier 5s, completely routing them and pushing them away. And then I'm going to be doing exactly the same coming around this side, as they've used a lot of their running abilities. I'm going to come directly into the side of these tier 6s and do a decent amount of damage, but the main damage is going to come in right now as they try and run away from the battlefield. And overall, you can see my men doing a great job in the battle. Again, I'm going to get rear flanked, but I decide that, you know, I'm being surrounded here. I'm going to pop Oath of Perseverance. Now, Oath of Perseverance is a really easy skill to avoid. All you have to do is run away from him. You might take a little bit of damage, but you're going to take a lot more damage if you stay locked into combat with a unit with this higher stats. There's just, you know, you should just run away from it, let it pop off, and then they've kind of missed out on using that ability. And Greek cavalry as well does great on the charge against Roman infantry. If we survey the rest of the battlefield, we can see that the enemy have some of their tier 5 Principes moving to our base, which is kind of scary. The balance of power as well is actually in the enemy favor right now. However, hopefully we can go ahead and turn that around. If we look at the leaderboard, we can see that that I have around about 149 kills, 150 kills right now. So as I said, being that kind of player who is a higher tier in games, you really have to try and carry the battlefield. It's actually kind of even more impressive that I've got this many kills, because I've been fighting a lot of cavalry right now. As again, the enemy does a smart thing, kind of withdraws some combat, lets this Oath of Perseverance pop off. I still have Oath of Perseverance on this unit still, but all the other ones you're going to see is still kind of waiting to be ticked down. Over here in the hot gates, some of our, what are these guys even? These guys are like, what, Principes? No, these are like legionaries going up against the armored legionaries right here. So they're going to obviously end up losing this, but it shouldn't be too bad, because they're going to be holding, you know, they're armored legionaries, for God's sake, so they're somewhat decent. We go back to my infantry, we can see, or my cavalry, sorry, you can see that the Greeks are going to be setting up a nice little rear charge. Luckily, this unit is still in Oath of Perseverance, so I get a huge charge deflect bonus, and also a melee defense. But you guys saw, I did just lose a decent chunk of my force. But again, they're still in Oath of Perseverance. That's the thing. The fact that they're still in Oath of Perseverance, now that these guys are tied down, they're just simply going to be getting surrounded. We'll go back up to normal speed now, and you see that charge coming in, doing loads of damage. Rear charging them is going to be great. We've also managed to get our archers into position. Now, the battle is starting to turn quite heavily into our favor, even though we are about to lose an entire unit of legionaries right here. Unfortunately, but I'm going to be cleaning up this cavalry, as you can see, and that's going to free up my units, and I'm pretty much untouched right now. I've taken a bit of damage, but nothing too seriously. Did Scipio just die? Oh my god, Scipio, no, he can't have just died, surely. I don't think he did. But yeah, as you can see, I've got 240 kills right now, doing pretty decent, and now my next target is going to be after killing these archers. So I'm going to be putting down my lances and going after these guys, doing a nice amount of damage, sending the Greek archers flying. However, I'm going to be in a tricky situation now, because these Roman armored legionaries at tier 6 can now make their way around and start hitting me in the back if they can get over here in time. So we do have to be very careful. I'm going to be trying to get away from this battle. I also have the rest of my cavalry, and ideally all I want to do right now, as we have infantry supporting, I want this infantry to engage, and then I want to surround this guy. I know my tier 7s are pretty tanky. They're not going to do a huge amount of damage on that charge, but because they are, you know, they are Scipio cavalry, they can get locked into this, and then I can hit them from the other side right there, popping my war cry off on this infantry. You can see the war cry going off there, rear flanked, and that's going to be enough just to straight up rout a large portion of these guys, and you can see the damage coming in as well. We pretty much just wiped out 3 units of tier 6 without losing much of the infantry. Banter power is extremely shifted in my favor. However, the enemy are going in with a base cap with 2 units of infantry as well as these cavalry. These cavalry are actually popping the infiltration ability. And at the moment, I honestly should have sent a unit back ages ago to our base, because I see this mistake happening so much. The enemy, like when you're winning a battle like this much, you don't need to be pushing the enemy with everything you've got. You need to be safeguarding your base, because at this point, for example, the only way we were going to lose this battle is if they can base cap. So honestly, to prevent that, you know, we should be putting back some units just to safeguard this and stop this from happening. Luckily, we had someone back to defend this. But for example, if this guy wasn't back here, I think they would have just straight up won. Luckily, we have a few people playing fullback, which is smart. But again, like, in these situations where we have a 700-man lead, there is no reason to be pushing everyone to the enemy base. You should always have at least cavalry back playing with fullback, trying to kind of stop this from happening. Because I've seen this in so many cases in the higher tier games where we're playing against a tier 10 death stack and I'm playing tier 8 and we're heavily out-tiered. I've won multiple games by just base capping where the enemy have such a huge advantage, and all they need to do is just leave a couple units kind of, you know, around near the base so they can fall back and stop any base capping. Or even just having a unit of cavalry back there so that they can spot when the enemy cav are coming or when the enemy infantry are going to start base capping so that they can react a little bit quicker. Now, I see it happen so much, and honestly, like, it's just such an easy thing to kind of counter. And it's kind of more, again, I feel very much as I get a really nice cavalry charge here, almost killing half the unit of this barbarian cavalry and routing it. I see it quite a lot, and I think it's down, you know, largely to the way that the score system works. If it was more score-based, you wouldn't be so kill-hungry, I don't think. So right now, I know we're going to win. I'm just simply going to charge in. Obviously, I don't get a good charge off against these Roman legionaries. The armored legionaries do hold their ground, which is something I really want to see more of. They also just get annihilated by them tier 7 skirmishers. Oh my god, these guys do so much damage. That is insane. That's actually really, really nice damage by them. But yeah, I'm going to come in now and we're going to stop the base cap and pretty much win up the day now. You know, we have this clear advantage, and honestly, I should have had cavalry back here. I know I didn't need 3 units this close to the base. I should have kind of noticed that we were winning heavily and brought back our cavalry earlier than I did. That's definitely something I need to improve on instead of being so tunnel visioned in. I also need to kind of use my map a lot more. So yeah, this is going to be wrap up kind of our first little replay. If we look at the scores, we can see I managed to get 528 kills, which is pretty nice. Obviously, it's to be expected when I'm playing tier 7 against tier 7s, 6s, and 5s. But, you know, my main goal there was just to outperform the enemy tier 7s. You know, they had, I think, just as many tier 7s as we did. So obviously, my main goal was just to simply outperform the enemy tier 7s. Also, they added in this little thing. It'd be kind of cool if we got like a For Honor type charge thing where they both just kind of like strike at each other. Would be kind of cool. But yeah, that was kind of like a nice little kind of MVP type system to add in. And I think with this MVP system, in the end of it, you don't really need like the score kill DA, like KDA system at all. Apparently towards the end of this replay, I can't all of a sudden speak. But yeah, we're gonna have it. That's gonna be the replay. We are gonna win the day and actually get a nice amount of kills as well, which is pretty awesome. So I have several replays to be sending you, to be showing you guys. I think I'm gonna leave this as just one video because it was close to 20 minutes. But yeah, do let me know what you guys want to see next, or units. If you just want to see high tier gameplay, more cavalry, more interesting battles, do just let me know, and I'll be sure to do it. Also, if you want to see more team gameplay, let me know and I'll be sure to kind of hook up with a few people and try and get some more strategic games going. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Do give me advice. Like, it's really up to you guys what I do with a replay system, because I don't know what is going to be the best kind of viewer experience. Would you rather just see me playing, just kind of follow me around the battlefield, or would you want to see the entire battlefield like a normal traditional Total War battle, or what? Just let me know, because this is going to be a learning process for sure of how we do these battles, but hopefully I'm going to do a lot of them. But yeah, enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.